want to welcome back to the show quickly here, Governor Rick Snyder. Good morning, Governor.
Good morning. It's great to be with you.
Thank you for the time today, sir. Big talk about the Detroit public schools.
Yeah, it was important, the announcement yesterday. It's really about doing several things. One, turning around the academic performance of the school district and education in Detroit. There are some outstanding Detroit public schools and charters, but we need more of them. And the children there need better opportunity to have better outcomes. The other one is to deal with the financial issues and to get those resolved so we can have long-term financial stability and success to go along with academic success. So I think it's a strong package, and now it's time to have a discussion with the legislature.
Yeah. How does this plan affect the rest of the state, in your view?
I think it's a positive for the state. We do need to make a significant investment of state resources of $700 million approximately. But it's one of those things that, isn't it important that we have the kids of Detroit be successful? Look at the success of Detroit, the city itself, and what it's doing to be a positive influence on all of Michigan. It's been exciting already and been economically sound. So we need the schools to also come back. The other thing, Richard, is if this doesn't happen and the debts of DPS go into the court system or something like that, the cost to the state and to school districts across Michigan could be well above $1 billion, could be in the billions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And so this is to do it in a managed, thoughtful fashion that does have a price tag to it, but this is a much better answer than the alternative.
So there are some legislators, of course, that responded saying they aren't so sure yet about this. What do you expect to say to them about it?
Well, that's why I'm expected to just give them the facts and make sure they get the facts. Because, again, people speculate a lot, but if you really look at the facts of this, this is to do a thoughtful restructuring of education in Detroit to make it financially successful and academically successful, and to do it in a fashion that will create a positive impact for students, schools, and all of us in Michigan.
Mm-hmm. I suppose the Detroit district is like some other big city districts where a fair amount of the children have a lot of distractions to their learning, whatever it is that's going on in their home life and in their environment. Is that a factor when you're considering these kinds of these efforts?
Well, that can be a challenge in any place in the state, depending on your family situation and everything. What I would say is there are schools that show they can be successful in the city of Detroit. Great illustration in the DPS system, Detroit Public Schools would be Renaissance High and the Bates Academy. There are great charters like University Prep and Detroit Merit. So this is something that we should be replicating the models of success. And it shows they can be successful in having great outcomes where these kids go off to career tech education, to the skilled trades, or off to universities.
Mm-hmm. So as the debate starts in the legislature, are you open to tweaking this at all?
Yeah, again, that's always part of the legislative process. What I would say is let's have an open discussion, and I think I'll get strong feedback from people in Detroit, people from other parts of Michigan. But again, the core of this package is very sound. But I'm always open to say if people have ideas for improvement, that's just being open to good thoughts.
Mm-hmm. How quickly would you like to see this go forward? How long do you want this to be the subject of debate before it moves along?
Well, we need to get this done before the end of the year, but is by far the best answer, because if we don't, again, then we're at risk of having debts going to court, having other issues, again, having this cost the state much more money and school districts across the state a whole lot more money. And again, it's not in the best interest of the kids in Detroit.
So this is all going on at the same time. We're still trying to work on a roads deal in the legislature. How are you feeling about that today?
Well, again, we came to an impasse last week in terms of I thought we had a common sense resolution, and politics interjected itself, so we just need to keep working forward. I thought it was important to take a break, though, so kind of people could cool down some, and I was hoping the public would speak up, and they have been speaking up to say, let's get something done. So I still encourage citizens to contact their legislators to say, we want a road solution, and we want a good long-term solution. And I think there are private discussions going on. I still have hopes and belief that we'll get something done this year, but I'm going to be relentless on this issue. We need better roads.
Yeah, and you've said from the beginning it's going to be a combination of things that makes this work, although there have been some who have said, we can find the money in the general fund for this. You still feel the same way?
Yeah, there's not money in the general fund to pay for the whole solution when you're talking over $1 billion. I mean, we shouldn't be doing, this is where I do draw the line to say we need to do it in a fiscally responsible fashion. That's not at the expense of everyone else in some dramatic fashion. So I think there is a viable solution that can involve an increase in fuel taxes, an increase in registration fees, a tightening of our belt in the general fund, if it's over a period of time, so it can be done in a thoughtful fashion. And let's work on opportunities to do those things.
Mm-hmm. Is it hard to try and inspire an outcome here without turning up the heat too much?
Well, that's it. Again, they're a separate branch of government. They're my partners, and I hope they appreciate the fact that I think our citizens want a solution. I believe the leaders believe that also. It's more, how do we get enough votes to get something passed?
Mm-hmm. The other big story, of course, is the Flint water situation, and I know you've been following that closely. Some published reports today that the state was advised some time ago about problems there, and maybe the action wasn't as quick as it should have been. What are your thoughts on that today?
Well, there is one case that we have identified where some of the people within the Department of Environmental Quality didn't share information as quickly as they should have, and so we've made some adjustments there already. The main thing is a couple things. One is we're going to do a full after-action investigation of this to see what all the issues were and what we could learn from this experience and improve. The other part is the good part is the transition back to Detroit water and sewer has happened, and that residents of Flint still have free testing available. They should be using the filters to make sure they're okay with their current water supply, even with the change back. And we're going to do a lot of work on the schools to do an investigation to see what's going on in the schools to make sure we're doing appropriate actions there.
Mm-hmm. Are you concerned, is there any concern that problems like that in Flint with the water could be in other parts of the state too?
Well, again, there are lead pipes in many places across the country still. And so it's really a case, that's what makes this somewhat challenging, Richard, is you can have water that tests with no lead coming out of the water plant itself.
Right.
It's hard to know all the interactions that are possible through individual homes or other places where they may have pipes on the private side of the water system. So that's one of the challenges here, and I think that's something we'll learn from the after-action report. Or there's some other measures we should be looking at in a broader situation for all of Michigan.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we appreciate your perspective on all of those things. Come back anytime you want.
No, it's great to be with you. Have a great day.
You too. Governor Rick Snyder on WBCK.